Hello, this is Michael Eure, and I'd like to invite you to the Michael Eure Show, featuring student hosts and very special guests talking about a variety of interesting topics. You can find us on the Eagle Stream YouTube channel. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Michael Eure Show. Today we have some very, very special guests. We have some students, and we're going to be talking about student engagement in the virtual world. So we're going to start off by each of them briefly introducing themselves. And I'll start with Sean, and then do Tiana, and then Daniel, and then Cameron. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Eure, for hosting us and having us on the stream. Hello, everyone out there. My name is Sean Rowan. I'm a student at Wake Tech studying engineering right now. I'm really looking forward to some of the topics we're going to talk about today. And I think I can provide some helpful information as I've served or studied both on campus and on online learning environment.
Thank you. Tiana?
Hello, my name is Tiana Stewart. I am a nursing major. That is my plan. I've been at Wake Tech since I think summer of 2019, and I just enjoy everything that it has to offer. I really enjoy myself as a student this go around.
All right. Daniel.
Hello. Thank you again for having all of us on for this awesome conversation. I'm Daniel Blake. I am a student at Wake Tech. This is actually my first semester, and so I hope to be able to give some valuable input.
Thank you. My name is Cameron, and this is currently my second semester at Wake Tech. I plan on getting my associates in order to transfer out, but this could change in the future. Just glad to be here. Happy about it.
Well, thank all of you. And right now, I think Sarah's going to move us over to the side, and we're going to go through the Student Impact Coach page. So this is Student Impact Coaches, of which I am one, and you can make an appointment or just kind of go on our page and see what we do and scroll down to the resources, and we can stop right here. We have these buttons that you can push, and we're going to do one, but we have the career and employment resources. We have wellness, we have the libraries, just all kinds of resources. But right now, one that we use a lot is the ILC. So I'm going to ask her, yes, open it up. And this is for any students that have not used it. You can go in and click, make an appointment. You can do math, you can do English, you can do writing. They have workshops. And I just wanted you to see how easy it was. So the impact coaches will help guide you, but you can also do this on your own. And the website is always available. Just go to Wake Tech, look for impact coaches, and it'll take you directly to our page. And those various resources will be there. Now, Tiana, I'm gonna put her on the spot because the one thing we don't have on that is financial aid. And she works in financial aid part-time. And could you tell the students what they need to know about what they need to be doing in financial aid right now? Tiana? Oh, you're muted. She disappeared. Well, we'll come back.
Mr. Eure, I think you're on mute as well.
Thank you. You remember so well, Mr. Public Information Officer. Thank you. What are some of your experiences taking classes online that differ from the seated classes? And that's everybody. We'll come back to you later, Tiana, about that. But we're talking about the difference between online and seated classes and what were your experiences. And we'll start with, let's start with Sean, and then go to Tiana, and then Cameron, and then Daniel. And I know that some of you may not have taken any seated classes yet.
Right. So that's a great question. What's the difference, or what are some of the differences between online learning and on-campus learning? And I think they're very similar in a lot of ways. But I think the main aspect is how you communicate with your professors and your students, and just how you're meeting people in general. On campus, you can literally turn right next to you, talk to a student. You can raise your hand, talk with a professor, in that way get direct answers. There's physical office hours where you can get help. So online, we still have all these great things, and we can still do them. They're just a little bit different. And a main advantage of the online learning that I found is its flexibility and your option to work from anywhere and at any time. So those are some of the key differences that I've noticed.
Thank you. And Tiana.
So I'll say some of the key differences. So I agree absolutely what Sean says. As far as online, it's something that you really have to like schedule to do, because a teacher just tells you this is what's has to be turned in, and then it's up to you to figure out the time to study, the time to schedule maybe some time with the ILC. And as far as me, I preferred being one-on-one with the teacher, having someone kind of next to me just in case I don't understand. You kind of build that camaraderie with the students in the class, kind of make your own little study groups. As far as that, versus online, it's kind of, solo. It's all of you, and you have to figure out the schedule that works best for you. So if you like to do things by yourself, online is a perfect tool for you. If you're more social, like some of us, or someone who's been out of school since 1998, maybe a more seated course is the best fit. So, you take a little bit of both and see which one works best for you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with what both Sean and Tiana said. I think it's vital to be able to make these connections at not only school, but the community surrounding that. And while online isn't ideal, obviously, I think we'd all love to work towards area where we can get in person. But for now, I think it's an excellent opportunity to reach out to teachers and to fellow students to actually build that community online again. It's just excellent. And I think Wake Tech has done a great job at facilitating that.
And I will jump in and say Wake Tech is the #1 online community college in the United States, even before the pandemic. So now you, Cameron.
I definitely do agree with what Tiana was saying and what Daniel was saying, and Sean. I think it's probably more of a solitary choice. From what I've noticed, when it comes to online learning, definitely it might be more straightforward. People can ask questions still, with their professors, but like what Sean was saying, it's sort of more solitary, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It really just depends on the person and what they are trying to achieve or how best they learn, like in their environments. I definitely do think that it's definitely a good choice.
All right, thanks. Do any of you come on campus for classes, or are there any what we call hybrids, or are all of them completely online?
For my transition English class, it is a hybrid class, though most students do elect to stay at home. We have the virtual call on the one day that we do or are allowed to come in. And while I have not yet been able to come to campus to actually experience that in-person class, I think regardless, it's been a great experience. And while I cannot wait for in-person classes to continue, I think we've done such a good job with the online. a lot better than some schools. Not to rag on any, but I think it's very imperative building those relationships. And I think we've done an excellent job with that.
Daniel, I just wanted to say I love your optimism, and I wanted to bring up something that you said. You know, we're in a different situation right now than we're typically in, but that gives us a great opportunity, like you said, to start building and meeting those new people, and we just, our way of doing that is just different. So, you know, those opportunities are still there. I just wanted to point that out.
All right. All right, thank you. We have a question in the chat. Okay, this is from Dr. Chris Reardon Aja from engineering. What do you all think about online integrity? Can faculty trust that you can do your work independently without consulting and soliciting any information? Basically, how do you build online trust? And that's for any or all of you.
So at the end of the day, it's about like your own personal integrity. You can find workarounds around probably anything that they throw against you. But what are you really learning? Because right now it's like you're building a foundation for what you want to do further in life. So if you're using other resources, what really are you learning when it comes to like test time? Now they have respondents where we have to lock down our browsers and you don't have to use like the camera and things like that. I feel like that would definitely discourage cheating. But at the end of the day, who are you really cheating? If you use other workarounds to get through your classes, what really are you learning? Is how I feel about it. So it's really just about your own personal integrity. And for some, you know, most teachers find a way to make it a little harder, I feel like, maybe online. So you can't cheat, you know, like make questions that it's not even Googleable. So that kind of sucks a little bit for us who have no intention on cheating. So now it's just like, but I mean, you know, you got to do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, I think it's your personal integrity of, you know, setting yourself for the next
Anybody
step.
else?
I 100% agree. I think Tiana makes an excellent point saying that who are you really cheating? You're not cheating the school. You're cheating yourself by not actually working hard and studying and putting in the effort to get the good grades because you are putting that effort in. And while building trust is extremely important, I think it is 100% possible. It is very difficult because it is hard to monitor student activity from a teacher point of view. I think, though, a very essential point is that regardless of cheating, regardless of the effort that is put in, regardless of how hard the class is in, I think we just need to be very charitable with each other, especially in this very difficult time for all of us. If a student, you know, doesn't have time to study, or maybe does, you know, don't think they're going to do super well on a thing, and they find a resource while they're doing it, I think that's not a failing on the teacher. That's just a way that a teacher can try and do a bit better for her students or their students, to try and like be better and make sure that every one of your students is getting the education they need. And then in turn, each student being charitable to the teacher, make sure that they're reaching out, make sure that they're communicating properly, make sure that they're saying, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can I get some help? Or can you link me to a resource where I can get some help? And that's where I think the ILC comes in greatly. It is an awesome place to go to if you ever need the resources or to reach out to get the resources that you need to learn.
All right, you pick, and we're going to move along because we got a lot to do. The next question is, have any of you used the ILC virtually or on campus, and how effective was it?
I'd love to start this one off. When I first started, I didn't want people to know that I didn't understand. So I was embarrassed to use ILC because I didn't want anyone to know. And then I got to a math class and just needed that extra thing. I've signed up with my teacher, who was in the ILC, and now I've probably seen every ILC math teacher there is. Everybody has a little different way of teaching. I can't say enough about like the math ILC. I use ILC for my Spanish class. Like they are there to help, and they're just waiting to help. And they're all excellent. And everybody has their own different way of teaching. But I hate that I did not start my first semester utilizing the ILC because they definitely made my grades.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I definitely agree with Tiana. In my first semester, I believe I only used the ILC maybe once or twice. That really has changed this semester. Like Tiana said, everyone has their own way of teaching, but at the end of the day, really, they're just a really good source when it comes to like giving advice and when it comes to feedback. I use the ILC mostly for my Math 171 class, and so far it's been just a really positive experience. I remember meeting, I think, one of the faculty on there, Mr. Arshadi, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and it was just really cool getting to see like his personality when he was teaching. And I really remember our meeting. I look back on it fondly. So it's been a really good source.
If anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing on that. The ILC is definitely, to reiterate, a great source. And I'm glad everybody feels the same way. One thing that I really like about the ILC is its versatility. You can go there, you can set up a single day to go over a particular assignment, get help with a particular question, or as Mr. Eure suggested to me, is plan out scheduled dates several times in the ILC a week, and it kind of acts as like a supplement to class time. That's something that's really helped me. It's just attending the ILC regularly and getting that extra help. It's been a great change for me.
All right, thank you. We have another question in the chat from Will Kinsey from Pathways. Pathways is male mentoring. Going through this experience, are you more than likely to primarily choose virtual classes? In other words, do you feel that the current experiences have made you a stronger student?
I would love to take head on this one. Well, I'm a fresh college student. This was my first semester. And I don't know what the in-person experience will be like at college. I can definitely say that if this is as strong as it gets, or if in-person can be any better than this, then regardless, I will be satisfied. While I don't think a lot of us could say we're the best people or the best students we could be right now, we're in a very difficult situation. I think it's evident that a lot of us have put in the effort and put in the time, teachers and students, to make this experience the best that it can be. And so to that question, would I pursue virtual classes in the future? Of course. I've already planned my summer and spring semesters out. I plan to take some virtual classes. It's a lot more convenient sometimes than driving around to different campuses or even driving to one campus. But at the bottom line is, it's a great experience, and regardless of what happens in the future, I'm glad to have had it.
Anybody else? Okay. Now we're gonna we're going to go into student activities. We know that you do the academics, and we'll get back to that. But we have a lot of student activities, and we're going to talk with Tiana for a minute because she went on a trip. We took some students to Elizabeth City State, and so that was right before the pandemic. We were so lucky. Then she also participated in books, and I got a chance to help facilitate that. But could you tell us about those two experiences, Tiana?
Sure. My ACA teacher is a proud alumni of the Elizabeth City State University, and he took us. We signed up to go on a college tour. I think it was their homecoming weekend, and I took my son, who was a senior, and it was the most amazing experience. It was like a different world. I probably dated myself a little bit with that one, but it just showed college life. We saw the sorority fraternity life. We got to eat in the caf. They had some of the best food I've ever had in my life. They just kind of showed us. They had like a mini. We got to see the band. We got to see the dancers. We talked to the dean. They have like a aerospace kind of situation down there. It was just able to get out the city and go see something that you never thought that maybe you ever sign up for. I think like it was. I can't speak enough of it. My son now wants to go there. It's just college. It's about seeing different things. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. And then we did. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say they have a great aviation program as well, and tuition is only $500.
Yeah. And everyone was so nice to us, and it didn't feel like it's because we were being busted. We got to see a basketball game.
Well, she's gone, but she'll be back. Sean, you work in the student government. Tell us about what's going on virtually and what you're planning for the upcoming. Or do you know? I know you did a virtual race, and we did that virtual book reading. And Richard Redding, who's a student success coach for Pathways, and I got to facilitate. And The Hate You Give was my favorite, and he liked the book, Dear Martin. And Tiana, I think, went to Dear Martin. But I'm gonna let you talk about it, Sean. Talk about some of the things you do, and invite students to become part of student government.
Yeah, absolutely. So Student Government Association is the hub and the club that helps facilitate Wake Tech's events, activities, helps with clubs, and things of that nature. So this year was definitely a challenge for all of us in the Student Government Association. But nonetheless, we were still trying to hold as many events as possible. We had several online virtual events, like Mr. Eure was saying. We had book drives, virtual runs of fundraisers that were actually very successful. So we're trying to put all that focus towards virtual events this semester. But even with that, we were actually having some socially distanced events. For example, there was a I think the book event was, you had to go, you actually got to go to campus and pick up a book. We also had a cake day where you can go and pick up a free cake. So we're trying to come up with ways to keep students involved and engaged. And we got a lot planned for the upcoming semester. I think in the fall, Wake Tech is going to add a lot more in-person classes. And of course, that depends on the situation. But we're hoping to start hosting more events, getting more students together, and just keeping the engagement up.
Thank you. Tiana, you have anything else that you were going to talk about before we lost you for a minute? Mike is muted.
Mr. Your mic's muted.
Mr. Eure, I think your mic is still muted.
While you wait, with your professors now, are you able to interact and ask questions in class and afterwards, maybe office hours? And is that different than what happens when you're face to face? Sean?
Yeah, great question. So me, I'm definitely a social person. I like to ask questions, and give feedback. I love to collaborate with my classmates. So I actually signed up for online classes, but we have scheduled meeting times on Teams. So we do get that face-to-face interaction, which is awesome. Yeah, so I think Wake Tech is going to have more and more of those. But I think as everything transitioned online, the workload on a lot of the tutors and professors is a lot more. They have a lot more students in each class. So that could be a challenge. But I think that also gives us an opportunity to network in a new way. So.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think fundamentally, the opportunity to reach out to your teachers and fellow students and faculty and different resources throughout the school is super important. And navigating that has been made very easy through the subset of like Blackboard and the Wake Tech student information pages and the Wake Tech page itself. It's made it quite easy to get any extra questions that I need answered if a teacher isn't available, or if I have the need for help outside of class. And if I need be, I can contact my teacher on Teams and they can respond to my question whenever they're available. So I think it's very useful, and I think it's been done very well.
All right, time goes by so quick. We have questions in the chat. So if I can get Daniel, Cameron, and Sean to read those as they come across the screen. Daniel?
Hello, students. Thank you, Wake Tech ILC Tutoring.
Thank you. Go ahead. I mean, they're wonderful, and thank y'all for letting us know. Free tutoring support for students in the ILC. And they are awesome. I'm telling you, I love them. Now, Sean, you can do this.
I'd love to. All right, so Wake Tech ILC Tutoring says, college is not a solitary journey. Though often we feel we should be able to be successful on our own. You have a family of support here at Wake Tech, including the ILC, which is very true.
Super King. That is, and Tiana will remember him. That's Professor Akeem McAllister. And he used to be in ACA, and he accompanied us to Elizabeth City State, where he's a graduate. And he's working in his field. He's got his master's in biology, and his bachelor's is in chemistry and biology from Elizabeth City. The master's is from Central. But since you know him, no, let's just get Cameron to read. I don't want to feel like we're cheating. Go ahead, Cameron. Read that.
The ILC is amazing. When I was an instructor at the wonderful Wake Tech, I pushed all my students to that resource.
Yes. Take turns. Whoever wants to be next.
So the Wake Tech ILC Tutoring Center says, what wonderful ideas for student engagement in this time of COVID.
Wow. And this is, oh, wow, more from Will Kinsey. Go ahead. I'm going to let you do that, Sean.
So thank you, Mr. Kinsey. He says, this has been a great panel. Thank students for taking the time out and giving us a lens into the current student experience. It was a pleasure.
And we are about to wind down. We got about a minute. So I'm going to let each of the students make a closing statement, and then we'll just have to have you come back. But first, I want to thank you and look forward to working with Daniel and Cameron since I'm just working with you for the first time this semester and continuing to work with Tiana and Sean. Quick closing. Thank you.
I just want to thank everybody again. I have one piece of advice before I go is to get involved, join clubs, get involved in the activities, and do use the resources at Wake Tech.
I'd love to echo what Sean says. Being a part of this community has been an excellent help, not only for my mental health, but also for my grades in general. So it's been super wonderful to be on here. Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for participating.
Cameron?
I just want to say thank you for having me on this. This is the first
It's 12:30, and so the show has come to an end. But I'm going to invite you back, probably maybe before the semester's open, certainly in the summer. We'll be doing 15-minute meetings in the sky, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, and you can kind of help interview some of these offices we talked about. All right, so thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks, 12 o'clock, 12:30 on the Michael Eure Show.